right. So next we're going to talk about OER, which stands for Open Educational Resources. And this is a very important topic in education, especially for our students. The OER stands for Open Educational Resources, like I said. But what it means is that we have resources available like textbooks, videos, online platforms that allow us to use them for free at no cost to our students. So the biggest advantage, of course, is the no cost, but some of the other advantages are that students have instant access. You don't have to wait for them to order a textbook for it to come in, especially if there's financial aid involved. That can cause more delays as well. And a lot of OERs that I've found and have been using allow you to remix. So if you want to do your chapters in a slightly different order, that's one of the awesome things too, is you can rearrange it and make it into your own version of the textbook. You can change the numbering. And even too, some of the classes that I've developed, one textbook doesn't fit all of the needs that I have for that class. So I can use multiple OERs and put those all into my course for my students instead of being committed to one textbook. Are there any other benefits that either of you have found?
I mean, I think it's exactly what you were saying in the beginning. It's definitely a cost saver for students, which is one of the huge benefits. But I feel like looking at grades, assessment, that for whatever reason, students are doing better with OER resources in comparison to a textbook. And I think I said I don't know why, but I can assume maybe that it might be because reading a textbook is not fun. You're more likely to read a short article, watch a short video, or something like that. So I feel like it's been a huge success in my courses. So
I can think of one other advantage that is your pocketbook, because the state actually has some funding for you to adopt OER. So
yes.
I think it's like $1,000 little micro grant kind of thing. You have to apply, then you have to do it, then you get paid. So there is a financial incentive, not just for you to save your students money, but like it helps you out. And then last year, or at the beginning of this academic year, they had a bigger advantage or a bigger thing where it was like a $25,000 award for a whole program kind of a deal. So I didn't apply, but I was thinking to myself, what could I do with $25,000 if we did apply,
For sure.
and so that's hopefully they do that again next year. But that's a big one as well.
Yeah. And the grant is also, and there's other resources as well besides the one for the state, but OER is an important topic. And so there are resources for developing your own OER materials as well. So not even just using them and creating, a course with those materials, but creating your own resources as well, writing your own textbook, which is something I'm sure we all have ideas to do at some point with all of our free time. I do one more advantage. You had mentioned that you find that students use the OER more. One of the ways that I think that works in my classes, especially for my online classes, is I can post the link to a particular chapter in there directly, so they don't have to go find the textbook and go find exactly where to find the material. It's directly linked, and that's really easy to do because of the open resources. How did you all find the OERs that you've been using?
Well, I can start because OpenStax is an organization that just has a ton of OER textbooks. And when I do OER, it's textbooks. So, I mean, I throw other stuff in there, but I start with the textbook. And if I can get a free online textbook, that gives me a great starting point. And OpenStax has a bunch of them, and they keep adding more. So I think they're ran
really
by
high
Rice.
quality.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. They generally have each chapter of a textbook has a set of learning outcomes. Sometimes they're not worded properly. Sometimes you got to tweak things. The slide decks, the PowerPoint slides are terrible. Like, there's a lot of downsides as well. We can have a real conversation about how much work OER is.
Yes.
But OpenStax has some really good bare bones textbooks that you can get started with. And like you said, you can link to the chapter or the section and put that in Blackboard. You can incorporate all kinds of new stuff if you want to. You can download the Word files and literally change the text. The downside of some OER is it gets a little stale if there's nobody updating it to get new versions. So you have to know when was this actually published. Some OERs are decade old now, maybe more, and that may or may not work. So there's definitely some you got to do your research just like any textbook.
Sure.
But OpenStax is great. SUNY, I think, is another State University of New York system, I think, has a bunch of resources. And I mean, YouTube is just great with YouTube videos. So what are you using, Kristen?
So ECE is a little different as far as OERs in that the resources that they tell you about when you go to the conference or what they share through emails, to be honest, was not great for ECE. But the benefit to it has been, though, like what you're saying, those things are sometimes a little bit dated. And so I have been able to do a lot of remixing at previous PowerPoints that, came from previous textbooks that I used to use. And then going through like organizations that I know support, ECE. And so I use a lot from those. And again, just creating my own. I've not really gone through any of the resource or the platforms they kind of gave us to use. But again, though, it's made it more current, and it kind of forces me, to be honest, to go back and update as well, because childcare is always changing.
Yeah.
And that's something that they can't keep up with, even if there were more resources in, the OER platform. So
I think I found just talking with fellow colleagues, us math nerds, we get real excited when we find something and we walk down the hall and tell each other. So that's how I found out about a lot of things. We have also found not only textbooks and videos, but online platforms, learning platforms. So it's linked through Blackboard still, but we use My Open Math, for example. And one of the benefits of that, of course, is that it's free, but we can write our own questions. We can pull questions that other people have written. We can take all of these and say, okay, well, I don't want part D, so then you can copy it and edit it out. And that's been really helpful for me, especially in one of my courses that I've completely revamped. And it's really been interesting to see. And I think even people outside of your field, we can share resources that we find, just talking with fellow colleagues. There might be a website that Josh mentioned that I hadn't heard of, or we can talk to, CETL and ask anybody in the CETL to help us find those resources as well.
Yeah, I think that's something the CETL has been working on, as well as Jamie over in the library. She's been great with OER stuff. She's well researched. Zach has been great with OER stuff. He's researched a lot of that. One thing you have to be careful about is like what license does this OER material have? Is it something that you can freely remix and reuse and do whatever you want with, or are there some limitations? So you have to understand the Creative Cloud licenses. Creative Cloud's probably not the right word, but the CC license, Creative Commons. Yes. I'm curious, I've used AI a lot in this space, because with OER, if it has the license where I can put it into an AI model, I can use that to then generate things like test questions, or in my case, PowerPoint slides, because slides that OpenStax give me are terrible and I need slides. So Claude now exists directly inside of PowerPoint, and I can upload the document files from the OER textbook straight into that and have it start building my slide deck, which is really good for me, because that's how I mainly use it. But I'm curious if you guys have used any AI tools at all for your OER.
I have when I'm rewriting the code for my questions, because it's not a coding language that I'm completely versed in. And there's a built-in guide, but
are you using regex?
I actually use ChatGPT.
I mean, is the code regex regular expression?
Sorry, it's PHP
or
LaTeX.
LaTeX. Ooh,
it's kind of both. Which
yeah,
is part of what makes it tricky. And so I can even go in and find a completely different type of question that does the format that I want, and take it and give it to ChatGPT, and it says, "Oh, this is the part that does what you want," and then we can together kind of troubleshoot and make it work. So
yeah,
that's been helpful.
If you're going to write a math textbook, you need to know how to use LaTeX, and that is complicated.
It is. And I didn't learn it as an undergraduate, but ChatGPT is helping me out a little bit.
Cool.
I have not used AI for an OER. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
That's okay. I just throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's neat to see the different ways that we can use tools together
sure.
to try to develop things and make things better for our students. And I think that's what we all do, because we're so passionate about our fields. We really want to make the best resources available for our students, whether that's writing our own textbook or just finding those resources.